In the shadowy world of drug cartels, few names evoke as much intrigue and fear as Amado Carrillo Fuentes, known to many as the Lord of the Skies. His story is not just one of power and influence, but a chilling reminder of how innovation in illegal enterprises can challenge even the most determined law enforcement authorities. Today, we uncover the hidden life of Amado Carrillo Fuentes, a man who built a sprawling drug empire in the 1990s through audacious air trafficking routes that rewrote the rules of narcotics smuggling. At the height of his reign, Carrillo Fuentes controlled an unprecedented fleet of aircraft, flying massive shipments of cocaine from Colombia through Mexico and into the United States. This was no ordinary operation. It was a sophisticated network that exploited the skies, transforming airplanes into deadly instruments of commerce and violence. The scale and efficiency with which he operated stunned international agencies and stretched their resources thin. If you think you can spot the signs of this trafficking simply by observing surface activity, think again. The flights were often scheduled under the guise of legal commercial activities, using remote airstrips and advanced navigation tactics to evade radar detection. These planes would often skim borders at low altitudes or fly at night, blending into the backdrop of routine air traffic, a tactic designed to confuse and outmaneuver the authorities. The behavioral cues of Carrillo Fuentes' operations did not emerge overnight. As his network expanded, so did the complexity and brazenness of his movements. His cartel pioneered night flights with multiple stopovers to refuel, with crews changing mid-air or mid-route to further obscure origin and destination. Many pilots were fiercely loyal, knowing the importance of strict secrecy and precision timing. Yet despite layers of security and deception, the cartel's activities were marked by violence. Turf wars, betrayals, and ruthlessness underscored every flight and shipment. It is crucial to dismiss any notion that this was just about smuggling drugs for profit. Carrillo Fuentes' methods represent a dangerous escalation in organized crime, a deliberate challenge to global law enforcement capabilities. The old tactics of border interdiction and ground surveillance were, for a time, rendered almost obsolete. Officials faced the grim reality that new forms of crime demanded entirely new strategies. The story of Amado Carrillo Fuentes took a dramatic and tragic turn when, in an attempt to evade capture and reinvent himself, he sought extensive plastic surgery. The procedure was meant to alter his appearance and throw off his many enemies and investigators. But the surgery, performed in secrecy in a Mexico City hospital, ended catastrophically. Carrillo Fuentes died on the operating table under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind a vacuum of power and a tangled legacy. Investigations into his death revealed unsettling details: discrepancies in official reports, sudden shifts in cartel control, and whispers of betrayal from within. His demise marked both the end of an era and a stark warning about the personal dangers embedded in the drug trade. Yet, despite his death, the influence of his methods, especially airborne trafficking, persisted, inspiring other criminal organizations to innovate and adapt. Historically, the rise and fall of Amado Carrillo Fuentes cannot be separated from broader regional and global dynamics. The drug wars of the 1990s were shaped not only by Mexican cartels, but by international demand, corrupt officials, and ongoing geopolitical maneuvering. Some conspiracy theories propose covert involvement or protection by powerful entities, aiming to keep illicit operations under a controlled balance of power. Whether speculation or fact, the shadowy nature of Carrillo Fuentes' empire reveals how deeply embedded drug trafficking is within certain structures: economic, political, and social. These hidden forces complicate enforcement efforts and prolong the cycle of violence and corruption. As we close this chapter on the Lord of the Skies, let this story serve not just as a recounting of crime and consequence, but as a sober reminder of the complex and deadly realities that operate beyond the public eye. Behind every flight through those dark skies, there are unseen risks and human costs. Stay aware, stay informed, and remember, what happens in the shadows often impacts all of us in ways we cannot immediately see.